Hey Ryan,
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Hey, I am so excited to be doing this today, and I want to thank you for agreeing to partner with me.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. Like I said the other day, I know we got to do something similar with the kids, I guess a couple weeks ago. And when you reached out via email and said, "Hey, I've got a really awesome idea for the parents," absolutely excited to jump on board.
That's great. Well, thank you. You know, you are a hero of mine. All the work that you're doing out there in the world with kids and helping them be more confident and succeed in life. And I think you're awesome. So I'm so glad we're doing this together. And I really think that we can add some real value and give some help to stressed out parents who are trying to just figure out how to survive what's going on right now. And you and I know we believe in not just surviving but thriving, and so um, we've got some good stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm super excited to share all our ideas today.
Okay, great. So we're going to jump right in. We talked about doing this sort of in three segments, and the first segment is about how you reduce your own stress and how you manage your own life. And we're going to talk about that. And then we want to talk about, you know, there's so much going on, and a lot of people don't know what to say to their kids. You know, you don't want to ramp up their fear, but we need to say something. And a lot of parents are choosing not to say anything. And that's causing more stress than it needs to. And then the third thing is the part that actually I think Ryan and I are both excited about is we have come up with some things that you can actually do, easy to implement things that you can do to, help bored kids, connect them with their friends in fun ways. And so you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it. And I think
Okay.
the part one, I think that will be even more beneficial too, because I think that so many people, as we know, are already living in stress and anxiety. And then now, with everything that's going on in the world, it seems like it's only being amplified. So yeah, let's jump on in.
Okay, great. So the first thing that I want to do though is I want to get us ready for this.
Okay.
So if everyone could just take a nice breath. Just take a nice breath. And I want you to get out of your head. You know, we have all these conversations that are going on in our heads, and that's where a lot of the fear is. So if everyone could just, for a moment, get down into your heart. Take your attention out of your head, out of your thoughts, and down into your heart. And take another nice breath. Okay. Everybody feel a little calmer? Yeah. All right. So, one of the things that I'm hearing from people is they've got all of this going on. They're trying to take care of their business, or their job if they're still working, or they're worried about what's happening with the economy. Will they have a job to go back to? All of that. And they're running around, trying to do it all and not taking care of themselves. And when Ryan and I talk about self-care, look, I love bubble baths and massages and all that stuff, but self-care is really a lot deeper than that. When's the last time you took just even 20 minutes totally to yourself? Just go in a room, shut the door. What I used to say to my daughter when she was little is, mommy's going to have a little mommy time. And I might take a bath or, go in my room and meditate. And she knew if there was a problem, she could come to me. But otherwise, she needed to just give me that mommy time. So I don't know, Ryan, can you see if we've got any people who have questions? I'd be curious if anyone's doing things for themselves specifically.
Yeah, I'm following along here on my iPad. We've got 7 people viewing right now, no comments yet. So if you guys, and I think that's one thing too, is maybe we should have started with that is I know you and I agree that a big thing is actually helping people with their real problems too. So as you do have questions, please drop those in so we can answer those specifically for you if you want us to dive in a little bit deeper. But no actual questions yet.
Okay. So Ryan, what are some of the things that you like to do for self-care?
Let's see, is I'm a get outside and just walk around. It doesn't matter, if I'm at the gym, I just literally walk up and down the building I try to get up honestly about every hour, at least every hour and a half, just to get away from things.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I enjoy the exercise piece. So that is, a big piece of my puzzle as well. And another one is, I guess my guilty pleasure is I'm a food junkie. So like if I want to treat myself, it might be to a certain meal, I think that kind of, I don't know, that makes me feel good from time to time is enjoying my own good meal. Everybody knows I'm a pizza guy. So, if I want to indulge on a pizza from time to time, that's one of my guilty pleasures.
Well, you're going to love something that I'm going to talk about in the third segment because it involves pizza.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Um, you know, it's so funny. Drew, you may be too young to remember this, but there was a time when people used to make fun of environmentalists and they called them tree huggers.
Uh-huh.
And did you know there's actual science behind hugging a tree?
I did not.
There is. It actually, you connect with the energy of the tree and it reduces your stress. So my daughter, when she was 15, she was accepted into Boston University and she was going away, for a semester, and I knew she was going to be alone and stressed out. And so one of the things that I taught her is if you get stressed out and you don't know what to do, go outside and hug a tree because it will actually calm you down.
Interesting.
So, a lot of people are like, okay, these two are kind of crazy. They're telling us to hug trees and get out in nature. But all joking aside, that is something that is really great for you, is to get out in nature. Being out in nature can actually have the same effect as some of the most potent heart and stress medicines that we have available. Just being outside in nature reduces your stress. Other things to do, if you live, it snowed at my house today, so I wouldn't be doing this one, but watering your plants outside, the negative ions that flow through the garden hose, or sitting outside. One of the things I do, I don't care what I'm doing, unless I'm in a meeting with a client, if it starts to rain, I turn everything off and I run outside and sit on the swing, because I know the negative ions of rain also reduce stress.
Interesting.
Some of the other things that I like to do, 18 years ago, when my daughter was born, I turned off the news forever in my house. I don't know about you guys, but with everything that's going on and all of the theories and people, telling you what to do and what not to do, I don't want to hear any of that. So I'm really glad that we don't have the news on in our house, because all it does is create stress. And I don't know how many of you have seen the side-by-side covers of magazines and newspapers, where in one area of the country that's very conservative, there will be headlines that will get the conservatives all worked up, and the exact same publication, exact same day, in a liberal area of the country will have a headline that gets all the liberals worked up. So it's just mass manipulation. So my number one recommendation actually is turn the news off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's also important to be gentle with ourselves. so many people are very critical, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. They're shooting all over themselves. And, you know, yes, there are things that we have to do as adults, but it's also a great time to give yourself some time to take a break, meditate. Who meditates?
Big me.
Who meditates at least once a day or more than once a day if they need to?
I'm at one.
Okay. Okay. So, if you've ever gotten into a point where you're stressed out, take a 5-minute meditation break. And what we just did when we got started, as silly as it sounds, when you're in your head and your head is stressed out and running all over the place, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to pay those bills, and what am I going to do with the kids today? I can't imagine being a parent and having one or more little kids at home all day long.
Absolutely, yeah.
Give yourself a little meditation break. Take some time out for you. Anything else that you do, Ryan, before we kind of move on to the next segment?
I was gonna say a big piece of the puzzle for me is, and this is more of like a recent revelation, what you're talking about of not beating yourself up, because I think that, like you said, is we can be, and many times are, our biggest critics. And so I think even a piece of that puzzle is, kind of noticing when you are beating yourself up and just kind of go outside for a second, or, even like you were saying, meditate on that. Because I find myself, especially now, as human beings and people that want to be high achievers and things like that, if you're kind of sitting on your hands like so many people are, is we find ourselves, I guess, beating ourselves up because we feel like we should be doing something all the time. And now we have more time, and, we don't know what to do with this time. And so, like you were talking about, is now that we have time, whether it's 15 minutes, is really implement yourself into your daily agenda. Because I know for me that probably is, making myself vulnerable a little bit. That's probably my biggest struggle, is beating myself up and being very conscious of, what thoughts are going into my mind throughout the day, to make sure that, I'm staying at peace as much as I can. So
some of the things I like to teach my clients to do is, as I said, get out of your head. Actually, what inspired me to reach out to you, Ryan, is I was doing what I'm talking about right now. Get out of your head and get into your heart, because your heart can't go crazy. Your heart, can't get in a panic state. Your heart is more connected to source energy, whether you call it God or Allah or source, as I call it, the universe. Right. You're more connected through your heart. And most people don't know this. Your body was actually designed to interact with the world around you and give you signals of, information, warning, whatever. And when you're in your heart, you're feeling a lot more and thinking a lot less. So that's something that I really love to do. The other thing I love to do, and you've heard me talk about this, Ryan, is call in the energy of joy. And what the hell does Deberah mean by call in the energy of anything? It's get yourself into a state where you're feeling joy. Now, I can do this, and Ryan, I think you're at a point where you can just automatically do this. But if you're just starting with this, remember a time when you were massively joyful about something. Like for me, it would be remembering holding my daughter as an infant and looking into her face. I mean, that just blisses me out. So I was doing this the other morning. I was in my heart, and I was just feeling waves and waves of joy. And I was like, okay, we've got to share this. All these parents out there who are stressed out, we've got to share this. So get into your heart and just feel the energy of joy. Let's do that right now, just for a minute. Just take a little breath. And remember something that made you feel joyful. Just blissed out joyful. Can you feel the energy of that? You feel joy. So you feel it in your heart, and now you feel it expanding throughout your body, down your legs, up, out through the top of your head. Just feel the energy of joy. Take a nice breath. And as you exhale, feel all of the tension leaving your body. Any place where you're feeling tight, inhale and exhale that tightness out. Feel it expanding throughout your body. Just feel the joy. Okay, sit here in this energy for a minute. And did you know that you cannot hold negative and positive energy at the same time? So when you're feeling negative, you're feeling stressed, you're worried, and you get into your heart and you feel that joy, you can't hold fear and stress at the same time. Your body can't do it. So for people who, say, well, stop being afraid. Well, how do you do that? You don't push it away. You don't push the fear away, because that actually makes it stronger. Think about, when two people are in an argument, when they're fighting with each other, and one person pushes against the other person. What happens? The other person pushes back. Fear and negativity work the same way. But when you say to the other person that you're in the argument with, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, let's move on, you pop that bubble. And the same thing is true with fear, stress, anxiety. When you get into a state of joy, or something that feels good, or I see my friend Mark Felice has joined us. He takes me on fabulous travel adventures around the world, virtually through YouTube and Amazon Prime. And when you do something like that and you feel joyful about it, it just takes your stress away.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say, I think a big thing that you've taught me too is just making the decision. It's not that you or I don't ever feel stressed, right? It's not like we've never we just don't feel negative emotions anymore, but kind of made this decision not to live in those emotions, right? When we do feel stress, it's like, okay, hold on. I'm not going to fight back against it. Like you said, is like, I am stressed right now. I am. Okay. Let me find some joy. Let me find something joyful to think about. So it's, for me, a big piece of that, like I said, is kind of consciously deciding not to live in that stress, but noticing the thought and then just deciding to move out of it towards, like you said, something joyful.
Great, thanks. So are we ready to move into the next section, or do we have more on this one, Brian?
I think we're ready.